actually fucking vetoing this. Hello. More good news. Trump pardons 4 Blackwater contractors convicted of the roles. Yeah, I know. We already talked about this. I covered all this. This scenario has to be potentially get very interesting. Also note that the Congress really dragged its feet working this bill out in the end. The final product passed both chambers with overwhelming supermajorities, well above the 2/3 threshold necessary to override a veto. Had Congress come to an agreement a few days earlier, the possibility of a veto or a pocket veto would not be in play. Congress could simply vote in the waning moments of the 116th Congress to override his veto on the coronavirus omnibus bill. But that didn't happen. Negotiations lasted through the weekend. There was a computer glitch on Capitol Hill, which delayed the House and Senate from considering the bill. And here we are. Oh, that's true. That's another thing that fucking happened.
Will the Hasanabi be opened tonight? I got stimulus points to gamble.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it has any impact. He's manipulating the media cycle. Yes, I know he is. That's all Trump does. That's literally all Donald Trump does is manipulate the media cycle. He's back, baby. He's fucking back. You think he gives a shit about the ramifications of a shutdown now when he's on his way out? He doesn't care? No. Donald Trump cares about one thing and one thing only, and that is being loved. Okay? Shutting down the government is no love. It is not good. He is not happy. Most hated artists you probably recognize: Django Unchained, How to Destroy an Ideology, Moist Meter, Cyberpunk. Surveillance Cameraman. Yeah, we used to watch that shit all the time. What is this season finale? Inside the Hills best riffs of 2020 and more. Wait, what?
Let's jump in. President-elect Joe Biden has announced his nomination for head of foreign oil acquisition, future Defense Secretary General Lloyd Austin.
Austin faces opposition because a law prohibits retired members of the military from serving as defense secretary for 7 years, unless Congress signs a permission slip for a field trip to conflict of interest land.
Also,
it's not Sunday, Hassan. Man, fuck off! It's been 6 hours, dude. I'm done fucking talking about politics. What do you mean it's not Sunday? Oh, because you're saying SNL? Oh, God. Okay, I took the oh, my God. The heart rate monitor was actually helping me fucking de-stress because I didn't want to. I'm realizing right now that the heart rate monitor was helping me fucking adjust my anger because I did not want to fucking be angry. So I was constantly fucking stabilizing my anger. And now I have all this pent up frustration and I'm letting it fucking rip. Jesus Christ.
Stop this now.
Also, this is not bad. Their fucking show, no matter what you say, called biofeedback. And you were porn acting all the time because of heart rate? No, because I would I need to eat food. No, it literally it caused me to pay attention to my my heart rate. So it literally I was just like hitting Zen. I was meditating. You have big problems, man. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm a pretty fucking halfway decent Twitch streamer. Because I have a lot of problems. That's the... People ask me, like, how do you become a successful Twitch streamer? This is it. You have to have, like, serious issues. Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch the fucking medieval weapons one. That's what I want to watch.
Hello, waving hand.
Hello. Where is it? Testing strangers' diamonds? What the fuck? How clean are the soft serve machines? Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Hi.
Let's watch some fucking reacts, baby.
Poor old Arpats looks like a pile of garbage.
I love old weapons.
Hi, I'm Toby Capwell. I'm curator of Arms and Armor at the Wiles
Hello,
Collection
people. Hey,
in
three.
central London. But I'm also a practitioner. Since I was a kid, I've been riding horses and fighting in armor.
In central London.
I've taken part in competitions, armored combat all over the world. And today we're going to be looking at the treatment of medieval arms and armor in cinema. Oh, stop. Did you see that?
I am a
He just
medieval
got
blue.
shot in the armor, and it knocked him, but it didn't stop him. And you know, in a complete armor, a medieval knight can suffer horrendous physical punishment that would kill an unarmored person like that. But you can take the hits, and in armored combat, there are times when you decide to let your opponent hit you because you know you can take it and you're going to do something else. You're not going to waste time defending what doesn't need to be defended. And the armor in this clip takes
Laughing
on,
is dangerous.
again, narrative significance. It's storytelling. He can take a shot right in the chest. So that's a pretty big character point, wouldn't you think? He's not clunking around all cumbersome. He moves like a real knight. I've been jousting and fighting in armor for 30 years. You know, I built a lot of different kinds of armor, working with different craftsmen all over the world. Real armor of the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance is like a steel skin. It's not bulky. It's your shape. The armor should fit you like a skin. It should follow your musculature. It doesn't have to be a lot of space under there. It's fitted. It moves with you. The plates are hardened and tempered medium carbon steel, so they don't have to be thick and chunky. They need to glide over each other and move like you move.
Tell me where the Mandalorians are, and I'll walk out of here without killing you.
He hardly ever takes his helmet off, and yet you know everything about his expression, his feelings, his character. Historically, a knight has a very close personal relationship with his armorer. The armorer is responsible for his safety, but he's also the guy who's going to mold your character. That's never really been explored, until this.
I said, where are they?
It's got a couple of possible sources of inspiration. On the one hand, it looks a lot like an ancient Greek hoplite's helmet, the ancient Greek heavy infantry of like 500 BC or thereabouts. These very distinct spectacled helmets with these like eye cutouts, the nasal for the nose, and then the cheeks brought in. In the Bronze Age, they're trying again to get as much protection for the face and the head as they possibly can. So that's where that really closely set kind of spectacled profile comes from. That was then imitated in the Renaissance. You know, in the 15th century in Italy, and very rapidly everywhere else, people became fascinated with the classical world again. And they started looking back to the ancient Greek and Roman precedent. And this style of helmet became fashionable again in Italy and Venice, in the Venetian Empire specifically. In the 15th century, most used by infantry, shooting crossbows and firearms and more lightly armored troops. And in the ancient Greek period, they were the heavy infantry, but they still had shields to hide behind, and they're actively protecting their faces as well as relying on their armor. I'd give this a 10, absolutely. Vikings is a fantasy. You should really treat it as a fantasy. There's a lot of things to like about this show. And that makes it almost the more tragic for me, because those Anglo-Saxons are all wearing late 16th century helmets. The Burgonets with the high comb and the peak, they are 800 years wrong. The leather biker gear.
Hassle.
There is almost no historical evidence for leather clothing. Almost across the board, people in the past did not make clothes out of leather. It's a distinctly modern thing. The axe is fine. I don't have a problem with the axe. I do have a problem with none of the main characters wearing helmets. You can't go anywhere near a battle like this without a helmet. So I mean, someone like Ragnar Lothbrok or someone of that stature would have amazing mail coat, he'd have jewelry, he'd have big thick gold stuff on him, he'd have a gilded sword. He does not have to look like a pile of leather crap. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Could not be undone.
That is metal. Nothing else looks like metal but metal in close-up. All that decoration is etched into the steel with acid. This is film armor as good as it gets.
I can't believe this guy just shit on the History Channel. Sorry, sir. Don't you know that that's basically a documentary? You're wrong. If the History Channel showed characters wearing leather, that means that they were wearing leather, okay? Sorry.
Oh, no, Wall.
I refuse to believe your lies. You just lost your credibility, sir. It's called the History Channel, not the fake news channel.
Now, there are lots of great spraying techniques, and you can spray plastic to look reflective, and increasingly it looks more and more like metal, but it doesn't behave like metal. Their armor's a little, you can see it's a little bit too flexy. There's something about metal that it has a weight, it has a rigidity that rubber and plastic and polyurethane don't have. He walks into the battle, and you know everything you need to know about this guy, and it's all coming out through his gear. They've taken real 15th century armor styles, mostly German, and then turned it up to 11. Sauron is wielding a mace, and maces are real. It's a hafted weapon with a wooden or a steel haft with a flanged or bladed head on one end. So all the weight of the weapon is balanced to the end. And it's a concussion weapon. And you're trying, rather than to cut or pierce your opponent, you're trying to smash through their defenses. That is way bigger in proportion to him than any real maces were. Real German Gothic, high medieval maces of the 15th century are, they're usually pretty short. They're like just a little bit, more than a foot or a bit more long. The heads are quite small, but they got these really sharp blades on them, and you're focusing your energy on a really small area. A weapon doesn't need to be massive to have the effect that it needs to have. But massive always reads well on screen, especially when you've got a Dark Lord of Mordor. And how successfully does it use armor and weapons to bring its characters and its themes across? I gotta give this 10 as well. Poor old Arpats looks like a pile of garbage, I'm afraid. This is a mishmash. There are a couple of elements, the shoulders and the body armor, that are vaguely 15th century, but they're about a generation too late for Agincourt. His helmet is just ridiculous. I mean, that has a vaguely 16th century profile to it, but it fits badly, it's too big, it's clunky. Oh, come on, man, what is this? Well, this is obviously supposed to be the Battle of Agincourt in 1415. At the real Battle of Agincourt, it was very muddy. The French had 10,000 fully armed knights. That was the entirety of their army. They had archers, but they didn't use them. The Pas de Calais mud is like this thick, gluey clay stuff, very difficult to move through. And it would be difficult regardless of what you're wearing. Armor often gets blamed for the French defeat at Agincourt, as if the French were wearing heavy armor that the English were too clever to wear or something. The fact is, the English, including Henry V here, were wearing full plate armor of the time. The English had 1,500 fully armed knights, whose job it was to protect those famous archers. They go about it sort of the right way, in that this knight is someone who's been trained to fight and kill people since he was a child. And he's very, very good at it.
All right, this is a bit of a spoiler alert for me, though.
The only way you've got any chance of this, if you're an archer or an English foot soldier or whatever, is to get 6 or 7 or 8 of your
I think this might be the worst video this might be the worst. This might be the worst audio editing I've ever seen in my entire life. The video is great. I'm loving it. But like, it's literally going in and out where it's like, you can't hear what he's saying. And then every single time it's like one of the action sequences is loud as fuck.
friends and pile in all at the same time. Don't take turns. He will kill all of you. You got to all go together.
The video is actually pretty
4
good.
or 5 of you got to hold him down, and then 1 or 2 of you have to stab him in the eyes and in the gaps in the armor. You don't stab through the armor. When King Richard III was killed at the Battle of Bosworth, they immobilized him, they held him down, someone took his helmet off, they probably cut the chin strap and took the helmet off, and then they can do as they like. They cut off the back of his skull, they stabbed him right through the brain, they did whatever they wanted. I'll give it a 1 because they've got mud and archers working together, but I can't give it any more than a 1. It's a massive lost opportunity. It's a legal procedure where they're determining the ownership of territory with a trial by combat. They're attacking each other on the wrong side. If you can see, they're passing right to right, which is wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. Because your rein hand is in your left hand, so it can't wield a weapon. Your rein hand is in your left, so your left side is more exposed. So that's where your shield goes. Your lance is in your right hand. Nobody's allowed to be left-handed in the Middle Ages. In traditional knightly mounted combat like this, you always pass from left side to left side. Unhorsing someone is very difficult, and it only happens when certain key factors all come together. The timing's got to be right, the impact, the placement of the lance on the body's got to be right, where he is in his stride of the horse when he gets hit. There's lots of things that kind of contribute to the likelihood of being unhorsed. But as a general rule, it's very, very difficult to separate a good horseman from his horse. If this was a later period, in like the 15th century, full plate, when you have full plate armor, you can be run over by a horse in full plate armor and you'll be just fine. I've seen it happen. This is kind of a weird choice in this film because El Cid, Rodrigo de Vivar, is a real person, but he lived in the 11th century, in the late 1000s. It's largely looking like the early to mid 14th century. Uh-oh. The 16th century two-handed swords are coming out now. We assume for some reason that a bigger sword hits harder than a little sword. That, you know, these are not firearms.
It's not true. We know that because of fucking the History Channel. Big swords have to be wavy as fuck. Big swords do not necessarily hit harder than little swords. Big swords will break.
The only person that
if
can
they
stop
don't,
a bad guy with the lance is a
big
good guy
swords
with
will
the
break,
lance.
or they'll be too heavy to fucking wield appropriately. If there isn't like the perfect balance.
This is not a higher caliber sword. You know? They didn't have two-handed swords in El Cid's lifetime. What you're seeing Charlton wearing here is what's traditionally referred to as string mail. It's a knitted garment, knitted with big knitting needles. So you've got big loops in the weave of the knitting. And then they iron it flat, spray it silver, and it looks like mail. Or they think it does. It doesn't really look that much like mail, but it's been the mail substitute for years and years and years. And it's fine, you know, for the background. And I'd still pass it for the background, but you can't have it in the foreground. 5 out of 10. A diving suit is very much like armor in the sense that it protects you from a hostile environment of a different kind. It's a complete fantasy because he's not got an air supply. Diving suits are a real historical thing. There are designs going back to the 14th and 15th centuries, in the late Middle Ages, of designs for diving suits. the skills of the armorer would be recruited for doing something like this. They work purely on a basic system of water displacement. The suit is not watertight. The water can get in. You pump air into the helmet, and it displaces the water below your face. But the water, as the pump is going up and down, the water goes up like this. And it sometimes covers your face and sometimes goes down, and you hope they pump hard enough to keep you from drowning. It's dicey, but it's possible. I give it a 7. It's very, very interesting.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
What's he doing? Stop that. No, can't do that. That's not how you take a sword apart. I'm sorry. This whole idea of melting a sword blade down and then recasting it in a mold, which is what they're doing, you can't do that. If you reduce the iron or the steel to its liquid state, you lose all of the properties that you want. If you melt and cast iron in a mold, it's cast iron, and it becomes really brittle, and you can't temper it, and you can't heat treat it. You know, when you have a lump of iron ore as it comes out of the ground, yes, they heat the iron ore to separate the iron from all of the silicates and the rest of the stuff that it's mixed up with.
Chat, we got it. You're all a bunch of fucking, like, soy-facing nerds, okay? Yeah, it's...
Actually, sir, it's Valerian steel. So what you must not understand here is that this is a magical. It's a magical metal. Ooh.
Never fully melt it. You don't bring it up to the full melting point. You heat it up until a chemical reaction occurs in the ore, which separates the iron from all of the other junk. And it sort of gloops down into the bottom of the bloomery. Weaponsmiths are very, very careful never to fully melt anything. You cannot melt armor down and make new armor. I don't care if it looks good on screen. It's dumb. I like some of the things that Game of Thrones does with armor, but that's a fail. That's a 0. I love the sort of evil Statue of Liberty sort of, aesthetic here. I think the star of that scene is the flail. Real flails are derived from farm implements, the articulated staffs that are used for threshing wheat. And if you have a feudal peasant army and they need to take whatever hurty things are to hand, a flail, agricultural implements are good. It's a staff with just an eye bolt articulation and then another piece of wood. When such an idea is weaponized more extensively, they add a short length of chain between the staff and the head. Flails almost exclusively are a lower class common soldier infantry weapon. The knights didn't use them. Because they're kind of scary and they have an inherent mechanical intrigue, they've become much more famous and much more popular to the kind of popular conception of the medieval knight than they really deserve to be. But it's great here. I mean, again, it totally works here. No flail was ever that big. No flail ever had a chain that long. But in this context, it works great. I can't think of another weapon.
I think this guy just loves Lord of the Rings. Did he work with Lord of the Rings or something? He literally, he gave Lord of the Rings, a fucking insanely high score. When, it had no historical basis or accuracy. And then, not to be chat right now, but he was like,
Steel doesn't work that way, Game of Thrones, 0 out of 10.
He's a bit of a fucking... He's a bit of a Lord of the Rings simp.
That would have the kind of visual and story character-driven impact that this has in this scene. It's got to be a 10 out of 10.
Bro, no. Okay, no, he is literally. Oh, dude, no. He's. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here, dude. He went from. Oh, dude, he's a huge simp, dude. He literally just explained why there is no reference to a flail ever being used in a context beyond like peasantry. Okay, it's a makeshift weapon that peasants used to use. Described the reasons as to why it's bastardized in modern media depictions, and then literally gave it a 10 out of 10. You can't do that. You have no rating system other than, oh, I like this, so it's a 10 out of 10.
He'd be dead. He'd be very dead. One man can't attack a shield wall like that. Nobody ever used rectangular shields. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Oh, I fuck this guy. All right, dude. We get it, bro. None of these other fucking shows wanted to work with you except for Lord of the Rings. And now you're fucking washed Andy over here. And, oh, come on, dude. Yeah.
Unless it's Aragorn, in which case 10 out of 10.
Like. Oh my God. Yeah.
Unless it's Gimli. Gimli would destroy it. He would use a rectangular shield. 10 out of 10.
It's stupid. And real early medieval shields, which were all circular, as far as we can tell, if air can get through, then a lot of other things can get through. Most real shields of this period are made out of boards, placed edge to edge, sort of like this. But they're placed properly edge to edge, and they're glued, and they're sealed, and there's good arguments to be made for them then being edged with rawhide, or sometimes covered with hide or textile and glue. You should not be able to see that.
Republicans repeatedly refuse to say what amount the president wanted for direct checks. At last, the president has agreed to 2,000. Democrats are ready to bring this to the floor this week by unanimous consent. Let's do it. Pog. Good shit. Hell yeah, brother.
That much air through your shield. He's been stabbed right through the chest between those plates. They're showing you how their own made-up silly armor doesn't work. Now maybe if he gets hit full in the chest with a spear that's wielded by someone who knows how to use it, his padded textile and mail armor, which is what he should be wearing, or even maybe a scale armor, maybe it wouldn't stand up either. No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't find anything.
Okay, dude, this guy is literally the fucking worst person, dude. He gave Star Wars a 10/10. I think he's super critical on all the realistic ones because he has context for them.
To hold on to. That's a 0.
Hoggies.
Well, bad lance technique. I'll give them a pass on that because they wouldn't have known what good lance technique is. It's a very common thing in jousting sequences in movies that they lower their lance to a horizontal and then they kick on and gallop along, and they're galloping along with their lance on the level. You don't do that. You're sitting on a horse. You've got 12 feet of...
Okay, low-key, he does know a lot, though. Like, I've learned, like, 8 different new things. Like, the no rectangular shield. I learned about the fucking cool underwater armor they used to have. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He's a dickhead, but he knows what he's talking about for sure.
Of pine lance, and the horse is going up.
Don't melt swords. I didn't know that. I really unironically thought you could like melt swords and then like remake a new sword and stuff. Like all of that stuff is things I thought existed. Kyle Kalinski's. He does look like he could be Kyle Kalinski's dad for sure.
Down like this, and you've got it here. It's inevitable that it's going to start to do this, and it's got a steel head on the end. There's weight right out on the end of that, and pretty soon this thing is going up and down. And you.
Oh, we used to watch Forge. What? I didn't know. They never fucking melt down old weapons and then remake them.
Couldn't hit a barn door with the thing. You've got no chance of controlling where that spear goes. And you get the horse going, and then you don't have to worry about your opponent until the last second or so of the interaction. And then it comes down, boom. It takes practice. If you're too late, you miss. If you're too early, you get tangled up and look like an idiot. But if you get it right, you're always on. A lance came down, it got tangled up with my lance in a joust, and it came down.
Oh, he fucking jousts himself. Okay, bro, you're a little... Bro, okay, medieval times Andy, dude. Okay, dude. Oh, when I was jousting. You know, one time when I was jousting. Okay, nerd.
And the steel spearhead, which has 3 prongs.
And LARPer
like
Andy,
this.
dude.
2 of the prongs went past my hand, and the third one bypassed the defenses of my armor, the gauntlet. It went just under the plate, through the leather glove, and into me. I finished the competition before I even realized I needed to go get sewn up.
He's so hot.
I have the advantage.
Now again, this is all metal armor. It's all aluminum. Aluminum sprayed black or aluminum polished. But look how good it looks. They worked hard to do what they were doing, and they knew what they were doing, and I think it deserves a 7. Traditional ranged weapons like the longbow and the crossbow, the projectile, isn't moving that fast, but it's still moving way fast enough. You can't block arrows.
Remove the hood and the mask.
What movie is this?
Ajan Pog.
Relativity Media Rogue? What a fucking strange cast. You got Liam Neeson. You got Nick Cage. You got Ron Perlman.
Arjan.
What a fucking
Pogo
weird
Arjan.
ass
Pogo Arjan. Pogo Arjan.
season of the
Pogo
Witch.
Arjan. Pogo Arjan.
It's an interesting
Pogo
outfit
Arjan.
he's got on.
Pogo
Who's he
Arjan.
come as?
Pogo Arjan.
He's got a vaguely
Pogo Arjan.
11th or
Pogo
early
Arjan.
12th century helmet,
Pogo Arjan.
but he's got full plate armor under there like the 16th century or something. I'll give it a 2 because it's funny and it's Nicolas Cage. Oh man, that's funny.
U.S. Army. Jungle Warfare.
I would say that the only time that would ever happen is never. Camouflage top would be better. He would have been leaving dinosaur-sized tracks. So a lot of people, when they think about tracking, they just think about like a footprint on the ground. But that's actually one of the last things we look for. Everything is so thick that you're actually leaving most of your imprints from like your knee to your shoulder, and that's where you're kind of maneuvering around and bending leaves and turning leaves and leaving scratches. So, I mean, he would have done a significant amount of that kind of stuff walking in and out of there. We teach a lot about water sources and the way to move about them and use them to your advantage. I don't know that we teach coming out of the water and shooting people with a bow and arrow that makes noise. So we like to use waterways to traverse them. So instead of having to walk through, like just for example, that jungle in the background, that would be very taxing on the body if you had to walk, a significant amount of distance through that. Where we just teach you to get in that waterway and move until you think you can get out again and start walking like they're doing. But I would never say that there's a scenario where you'd have to like hide in the water. So if I was Rambo in this situation, I would probably be...
What the fuck is a jungle warfare expert? Can someone explain to me what the fuck that is? Where are the veterans at? How does that work? He's too young to be a fucking Vietnam vet. So what's going on there? Dude, chat is so fucking silly. Yeah, dude, he's a Vietnam War veteran, dude? You mean he's... Well, how old do you think he was when Vietnam happened? This guy. Why do you guys just say so dumb, like such dumb shit, dude?
In the rocks where he was, and that way if they do start shooting, you at least have cover. But once they come to you, then that's it. That's game over. I've been put in situations in the jungle where they give you, a couple days or a week worth of classroom environment, and then they load you up in the back of a truck and they drop you off in the jungle by yourself, and you have nothing besides a knife and a machete for the next 10 to 14 days. Survival isn't what people think it is whenever they watch like Bear Grylls. Like he's excellent at it, but he had to have gotten to that point. You just can't go into the woods and be like, I'm going to survive and then crush it. I'm going to say a 2 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for awesome.
At his disposal.
Is this a double feature? For God's sake, just lean your head back and open your mouth.
It's pretty outdated. I mean, we all chuckle through all of them, but when stuff actually hits the fan, your brain reverts back to like, oh my gosh, I saw this stupid video and that might save my life. So we do teach how to collect rainwater in different types of leaves or bamboos. If you were to just tilt your head back and open your mouth, you wouldn't get enough water to do anything. So everyone talks about like the rule of 3. So you can go 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. But that's the good thing about the jungle. There's water everywhere. There's a lot of vines inside of jungles that just are filled with water for that tree. And if you can find those, just cut that in half and you have a couple quarts of water. But the rule of thumb for soldiers is a quart of water an hour if you're under a heavy workload.
Your best friend is your knife.
Oh, look at knives getting serious.
A knife is absolutely the most important tool. And knives are used for everything from, building your shelter with it, just using it to sharpen things, to slash things, to cut things. It has to be durable. That's why we talk about full tang blades, meaning that like the knife is the full length of the handle instead of just being the blade and then a little bit goes into the handle, because you need to be able to like put that into trees and then bang a rock on it to split wood. It just needs to be used for everything.
Will it kill?
Even though it's right above you, you probably would forget about security and running back into the woods till it actually was time to get, picked up. And at this point, he's just trying to live. He did exactly what we teach soldiers to do. If you need to get found in a jungle environment, you'd find a big open area and try to create something that's larger than yourself so that you could be signaled. You could light a fire and then put a lot of green leaves on it. It'll create a big plume of white smoke.
Finally jumped to Twitch after watching him for a while. Cultivating the internet subculture. Be sure
That's
to
a
give
jungle
yourself grace
penetrator.
so
We
you
actually
don't
use that
burn
here
out
at jungle
and
school.
Nathan for you.
Same
It's fucking
technology
hilarious.
from Vietnam we're still using today because it's effective.
Authenticator! What's your authenticator? Rescue dog! Rescue dog!
That's very realistic. So whenever you deploy, you have to fill out some forms, and there's a sequence of questions that you have to answer in case this scenario does happen. You even have to put like where your tattoos are on your body, and so when you do get caught, they're making sure they're picking up the right person and not someone they don't want to be picking up. That's the thing about the jungle, is that it can start breaking you down physically within 24 hours, and you can look like this within a week. And it all depends on your skill set and how long you can survive. Like me, I think I could survive pretty much indefinitely. I would say that the last scene, that's probably a 10 out of 10.
Be a fake human being. Maybe I can see something I don't yet see.
Okay, buddy. Okay, dude. Okay, this guy is so funny, dude. Me? I'd probably fucking survive for like, I don't know, for the rest of my life, dude. I'm fucking living in the jungle right now, dude. They call me George, dude. I'm fucking, dude, I'd kill it in the jungle, dude. I'll survive there forever, dude.
Don't yet know.
This is my absolute favorite jungle scene in any movie that's ever been produced, because this sums up what it's like to be in the jungle 1,000%. You were just wet and miserable, and you're wondering the entire time why you made this life choice. Oliver Stone, the guy that made this movie, he was actually in the 25th Infantry and deployed with them to Vietnam. It's usually pretty dark inside there. I've been in a lot of jungles where you can't even see your hand in front of your face during night operations. Kind of looks like, they have a spotlight on top of them. You just have to be good at being uncomfortable. There's no trick to that trade. So actually, the 25th, we're the first ones to field the new jungle uniforms, a little bit lighter weight that dry out faster. We have jungle boots that dry out quicker.
Junior. Hey.
I'm going to be up scanning for every little movement or sound I can. So that keeps me up, and I think that you know, just the fear of everything that's crawling around on the ground while you're down there on it also keeps you up. 50% of everything is trying to kill you, whether it be the plant life or animals. In Vietnam, they have like 15 different poisonous snakes, double that in poisonous spiders, and then they have tarantulas. So, yeah, you're just constantly on the lookout for what you don't want to step on, sleep on, or grab. And another thing is there's only one person up on guard on this patrol, and would never happen. So in Vietnam, the average firefight was within 5 to 10 meters. So the enemy was able to get very close to us, but we were also able to get very close to the enemy. Stealth in the jungle is paramount to probably anything else. You actually use the same things today as you did back then. So technology has advanced a lot. So the
Bro, he says we. Bro, what do you mean we, bitch? You were like fucking... Were you even alive, dude?
I love seeing grown Republican men cry.
This guy is not a Vietnam War veteran, dude. There is no fucking... There is no... How old is he? Wait. I'm 33 years old. I'm a Vietnam vet. We exist. He's in the 25th Infantry Division. Okay, but like he's saying we like he was out there in Vietnam, dude.
jungle really doesn't give you that capability because satellites can't penetrate through it. The night vision can't get through there because I was talking about how it's dark. So night vision actually needs ambient light to work. So you need a little bit of light to make night vision work. So when you get shot, if you're still in that type of environment and you know you haven't won the battle yet, you have to figure out kind of how to deal with the pain, like you said, so that you're not giving away your position because you don't know if the enemy has left the area yet. Actually, a lot of people, when they get hit, they don't even realize they get hit because their adrenaline's just pumping and they're just so ready for it. And then someone actually has to tell them, like, hey, man, you know you got shot? I've personally seen that, absolutely. I would give this a 10 out of 10 just because this reminds me.
What? What do you mean he knows he's seen personally someone get shot in a firefight? Where is this guy operating, dude? What is this fucking video? Where was he? Where was he in like Africa? Like where was he? Where? Like South America, maybe? Like what? Do you think there has been no war since Vietnam War? Dude, heavy jungle war? What country did America engage in, with the exception of South American countries, I guess, that like involve like straight up heavy jungle conflict? This is the most jarhead take without being a Marine? Like, where have there been actual fucking documented... Where have been actual documented fucking firefights like this?
Jungle school is just a stupid school you go to. He absolutely would have deployed to Afghanistan or Iraq.
Me of every squad I've ever been in. He probably should have had some camouflage on there, not just a giant white bald head.
Keep your eye on the package. Roger that.
How dare you?
What was accurate about this is that they put a guy, a sniper up top, who was kind of like their topside security overwatch, who was watching the scenario unfold, who had comms with them, who could say, like, hey, the situation has changed, don't go in. The fact that you have to get all the way up to the village very stealthily and then try to work your way in one building at a time, that's pretty accurate. If you were going to go do something like that, an operation like that, you would be camoed head to toe, but also them using suppressors. That's pretty accurate. You would use hand and arm signals a lot. Moving around the jungle, a lot of them is just kind of like the, halt, stop, keep moving.
I watched the shit out of this
stuff.
Tears of the Sun.
These stuff like that. That's about it. Using rally points and pointing places, saying, hey, this is something significant. You're gonna have communication on you, but so they have this cool guy stuff with an earpiece. They even have stuff that just like throat mic, so you can just press on your throat and you can whisper, and it still comes across on the other end just as loud. So yeah, everything's pretty accurate other than the face paint. I would give this a 9 out of 10. As soon as they made contact, they immediately rolled into the ditch and then returned fire. They got behind the nearest cover and then started returning fire. What was funny is that they were just walking kind of in a straight line across this open danger area, which wouldn't have happened. You could have done another number of methods. You could have bounded across it, or you could have, we call it hand railing, where you just kind of like stay on the wood line and go through, and then that way, you wouldn't have been an open target. It is funny that he gets on the radio and just starts calling in, and then rounds just start dropping, doesn't even give a grid, doesn't tell him where he's at, just says tree line. You're in the woods, and someone's like, we're in the tree line, let's go! I'm not sure that the term pull back is an Army term. We would say break contact. We'd have somebody covering our fire while another group gets out of town, and then once they get to where they're going to go, they'll turn around, start shooting, and then the next group leaves. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where someone yells pull back and then everyone just starts running in the opposite direction. So the responsibility of the leader is to command and control the entire situation. At no point, unless it's like worst case scenario.
Yo, this is so true. This is probably the least charismatic man of all time. I was just thinking, like, dude, I don't believe anything he's saying. He just sounds like a liar. Like, I just don't believe anything he has said so far because of how little charisma he has. I will not believe him. Also, you should believe, however, that it's top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break right now. If you'd like an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free. You don't need to go to jungle school. You learn everything you have to right here, ad-free with a subscription. Here's the ad. My man said bye-bye then. Like, how about, you know what? Fuck yourself, dude. How about bye-bye, bitch? What do you mean bye-bye?
The leader of the entire patrol be picking people up and running with them. He should be delegating those tasks and then, relaying all the information to higher and giving out guidance. I would give this a 6 out of 10. After you've been in there a while, you can start to tell, the weight of a tiger isn't the weight of a human, so you'll be able to distinguish the two. Plus, a tiger knows how to step and a human doesn't. Any snap or crack you hear, you're going to automatically be on high alert, especially if you think the enemy's in the area. If I had a minigun in the jungle, I would be doing that with it. So that's about as accurate as this scene. Someone might have an M16 and they're just blasting off rounds and it's just coming out as fast as the trigger can go, and they would never do a magazine change, and he'll be in this firefight for like 20 minutes. Yeah, some of the weaponry was correct, but you would definitely not be lugging around this Gatling gun in the middle of the jungle. Those rounds that he had, for the amount of firepower that he put down, that'd have been like hundreds of pounds. So the goal is to be as light as you can for the longest period that you can. You need to be very like aerodynamic and nimble. I would rate this a 2 out of 10, but a 10 out of 10 for awesome.
Bro, we know why this guy loves these movies. Like, we know why he joined the fucking military, dude. He's such a chud. Oh, it's a 10 out of 10 for awesome.
This movie is based on one of the battalions here in the 25th. It's based off 127 Infantry, the Wolfhounds, from their Charlie Company. And this is when they had to be deployed to Guadalcanal. This is the type of terrain you'd see when you're coming out of a jungle and getting into the kind of like the mountainous terrain where it's just like a bunch of overgrown grass. But they're trying to do a frontal assault up a hill, which was dumb in the first place. Probably wouldn't have happened.
What?
Not really sure why he had a grenade taped to his belt. Yeah, normally you won't be able to just pull the pin itself, and the grenade
Also, why didn't he explode?
still be on your body. The distance was right, the scenario was right, just the way that it was executed probably wouldn't happen in real life.
I blew my butt up!
Wait, he's alive? And he's still in one fucking... Why is he alive and in one piece? It doesn't matter, it's poetry. Dude, Woody Harrelson is literally a national treasure, by the way. Like, outside of everything else. I still remember, me and my friend used to make fun of the... You suck your cock!
There's more where this comes
From True
once I
Detective
get that
Season
2K
1.
Stimmy.
All the time. So much emotion in that scene. When he fucking walks in. And he's like... And he realizes his wife is like... Or I think it's his girlfriend, right? Is like with another man. And it's like not enough that she's cheating on him. He needs to know if she sucked his dick. He goes, "You suck your cock." Anyway. Grenade kills with the shrapnel and not primarily by the boom. Bro, if a grenade exploded on you, you would fucking still have some of the boom, brother.
I blew my butt up!
This is a pretty realistic war movie. I mean, even all the way down to the way that soldiers act whenever someone gets hurt, it's still just a bunch of guys trying to figure it out. I would give the scene a 7 out of 10 for realism.
What? Okay, dude, this guy's a simp too. Yo, these guys are all simps. A 7 out of 10 for realism? Get the fuck out of here. Wait, just a bunch of dudes being guys, still a bunch of bros? He cheated on his wife and she tried to cheat on him with Matthew McTexas? World War II grenades were built differently. That's not even World War II, was it? Anyway, regardless, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. He just teaches no active combat? Wait, he might have done active combat at some point, though. Jungle Operations Training Course. He's an instructor. He probably has seen some combat in the past, right? When he asked if she sucked his dick, homeboy said just a little bit. It was during that class where his friend got shot, I bet. Dude, yeah.
All the air support you can give me on that now!
That was pretty convenient that they had 2 helicopters and an airplane on station within like a second of the phone call going out or the radio transmission, and they didn't even like have the grid out yet. They were like still talking and they were starting to shoot. So the reason that they're using
you don't get
helicopters,
to you don't get to be an instructor without a little bit of war crime.
Because one of the only methods to truly infill and exfil from that type of environment is to find that one little clearing and then try to get as many troops rallied at the same point so that you can push from there. The Vietnamese clearly knew that that was going to be a point that they would try to infill, and then they were dug into the side of the jungle mountain and then just decided to fight down from there.
Bro, this guy would be like if you're... Oh my God, is there a lot? Thank you. Mom went to the P.O. box to pick up P.O. box packages. You absolutely can be an instructor in the military. I've never seen combat, LMAO. Dude, let him have a little bit, okay? Let him have a little bit, like a nibble. Just a light kissy poo of war crimes. Just a little bit. As a treat.
Everything is pretty accurate. As soon as they hit the ground, they just started running to the nearest cover, which was pretty far away because they got dropped in the middle of a large field. This is based off a real event. This Colonel Hal Moore in the 1st Cav. So when a helicopter is coming down, the entire body is spinning, and then they're kind of like oscillating all around. So you you don't even know really where it's going to land. So you just don't even, you hope that you would just run in the right direction. But as far as being in that helicopter, that's just kind of hold on and hope for the best. I would give this a 10 out of 10 because I can visualize what it would have been like to be in this scenario, and I just feel bad for everyone that had to go through this.
What? What?
So I love this scene.
What is this rating? Dude, this guy is... Yo, the military, they're not sending their best, dude. Dude, even the fucking... Dude, the scout sniper is way smarter than this dude. This is like... This guy is doing IGN reviews over here with the fucking movies. Like what are we doing? Like, what is he doing? Oh, that's exactly what I could imagine what it's like to be in that situation. Oh, okay. What is his rating? What is his measurement system on? Like, what is his... I feel like he's basing it on the most inconsistent set of standards I've ever seen. Oh, dude, this is pretty cool. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I already watched the new Trump video.
Because they're about to shoot a mortar, and they're about to do it without a sight on it, and that's not the correct way that you do it. This one's
pretty
and
cool.
Then whenever
That's a
they
7
actually
out of
hang the
10.
round and then shoot it, it immediately blasts. You see the blast, so the time of flight would have been like the same as just a regular bullet, the way a mortar works. So it has to come out, go in the air, and then come down and hit. That's not happening in this scene. Also, I think that they're giving corrections without a sight on there. So I'm not sure what they're exactly correcting, but that wouldn't happen. This little tank running around the battlefield, somebody would have probably already tried to take that guy out. That's pretty accurate to what it is like to get to see a tank get shot by another tank. We had Shermans on shore at Guadalcanal, and they were just trying to reinforce the infantry. But that's kind of the role of a tank in this situation, is just to try to flush out all the larger targets so the ground forces can continue to push forward. But actually, at this stage of the war, tanks weren't on ground yet because we had just taken the beach.
Bitch, what do you mean we? Like, what is he saying? Who is this we? Oh, I didn't know you were both. You were a veteran of all the wars. Like, he's just like, my man got so into the lore that he inserted himself into it, dude. Oh, dude, yeah, it was pretty crazy when we did that. So, I'm out there storming the beaches of Normandy, right? And it's pretty crazy. We got the machine gunners laying down heavy fire. The U-boats, like, whoever's in the front of the U-boat, like, they're getting clapped, right? I mean, we're pretty scared at that point.
That's also super accurate. All the weapons are pretty spot on. The equipment was spot on. They're shooting Thompsons, which is accurate for officers, and the officer in this scene has a Thompson. This is a good scene other than the mortar. I would also rate this a 7 out of 10.
Have the Chief designer sunglasses. You sure that's him?
This looks like a Kodak camera zoom. I'm not sure what that is.
He's moving.
You're always going to have a spotter, and then you're going to have a sniper, and then they're going to be talking back and forth about, distance and wind correction. So he just said, 2 people go walk down a hill. I'm not really sure why he did that, especially since 5 seconds ago they were talking to each other in normal voices, giving each other corrections, and then now
It's a pretty cool movie, so I'm going to give it 10 out of 10.
they decide that they want to be stealthy and walk away. You never want to give up on stealth just because of distance. first things I tell people about the jungle, especially at nighttime. It's almost so loud that it's unbearable. So the first night I spent inside of a jungle, this bird hadn't made this sound all day, and I didn't know what it was. But at nighttime, I still don't even know what type of bird it was. It just sounded like this man that was just like being stabbed or something. It was just like this, and I was like, what is happening? And then all the other animals start feeding off that, and it's deafening how loud the jungle is. I would give this